This afternoon is seeing some familiar faces, folks that we've worked with or I worked with decades ago, and also some people who are here like in the 50s and 60s doing tech work, and so it's been really fun to hear their stories, and we're going to be hearing them on the 5 o'clock news, talking to them at 5 and also at 6 o'clock as well. And then Darian, what are you going to be doing?
Yes, hello. I've been hanging out here for a while, and I've been talking to some of the curators on our team who put together this incredible exhibit. And I'm going to talk about how it came together and maybe get a little sneak preview for some of the viewers at home.
Well, so let's talk to a man who is a foundation piece.
Hired us both at KTTC.
It was a good hire, I have to say as well. So we're going to bring him in. Jerry Watson was general manager at KTTC for 28 years. Come on in, Jerry. Good to see you, my friend.
1990 to 2018.
So he's back. Talk about the early years at KTTC when you took over the helm. What were those years like?
Well, they were very educational because I came from a much larger television market. But what I found here was a very, very different staff because everybody could do everything. I came from stations where everybody had a certain job, but when you have a small station with a small staff, I was very impressed with that. I came to a market where most of the advertising was purchased by direct clients. We didn't have any ad agencies in this town. That was new to me. And I've been here for 30-some years now because we love Rochester, and I raised my kids here. They went 12 years to school, and but back then, some of those people are here. They haven't changed a bit, and Chuck Sibley, I think he's not dead, is he?
No.
Are you
he's still here.
Over him, being like, this is fantastic?
Well, it's about time.
Yeah, really. You know, what is it, as you are here at this exhibit now and looking at the pictures as we celebrate 70 years, you are at the helm again for 28 years. What goes through your mind as you look at these pictures and think, you know, you played a big part?
Well, what is very special to me is the young people that have gone through our doors and what they've grown to become, the young journalists. It was hard for me to understand in the beginning that we were grad school for these young cub reporters. And then we were lucky enough to find someone like you who is a pro and has stuck around. But I'm very proud of the things that we were innovative and did. We put a sky camera up on that tower downtown in a mailbox. That was an idea. We did food drives. We did toy drives.
The telethon.
The telethon absolutely stunned me how a small group of people could put on a total local telethon with no breaks to national. I was blown away, and I learned more here in 2 years than I did in many years of broadcasting before that.
And I think really briefly that is what a heart piece of KTTC is. Yes, we deliver the news, but we are really a part of the community, and we care about this community through these fundraisers, through all these things that we connect.
Tom, I remember in a discussion in the station in the late 90s, and we were talking about all of the things that the employees were involved in, and it blew me away. And just for fun, we asked every employee, what are you involved in? They're involved in their church, their school, the chamber, you name it. And I could not believe that 60 people were involved in that many things in the city. And we actually ran a promo with all the organizations that our employees are involved in. It was pretty cool, and it's still the same.
Well, and Jerry, you understand more than anyone. We're hearing from our producer that it's time to go back to the studio for some other headlines.
Oh.
You're familiar with that.
This little thing that we call the news.
I've never been on TV before.
Hey, Jerry, good to see you, my friend, and thank you for your service to KTTC. All right, we're going to head back to Zach now in the studios with a look at today's news. Zach?
All right, Tom and Caitlin, thank you very much. We'll have much more at the Olmsted County, or at the Olmsted History Center coming up. But for now, we do have to take a look at some news headlines, starting off on a somber note. Someone has died after a motorcycle accident on Highway 63. The accident was in Lake City this afternoon, according to Wabasha County Sheriff's Office. It happened on Highway 63 near Orchard Lane. A Ford F-150 pulling a trailer was traveling north on Highway 63 when a motorcycle heading south struck a deer. According to the Minnesota State Patrol, after the motorcycle hit the deer, the driver of that cycle collided with the trailer being pulled by the truck. And you can stick with KTTC for the latest details as more information will be released from State Patrol at 6 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, another accident, this one in Stewartville. A car ran into multiple mobile homes yesterday. The woman driving the car, she had it in reverse when it was actually in drive and ran over the gas meter. And then this all happened at the 300 block of 23rd Street Northwest a little after noon. Thankfully, nobody was injured by the damage, but the damage is about $15,000. Olmsted County deputies responded to the scene. Well, this afternoon, a fire destroyed a shed in Plainview. Plainview Fire and Rescue got the call shortly before 2 this afternoon. The shed stood between two mobile homes, and both were damaged in the fire. Plainview police were first on the scene, and the fire and rescue team actually had to call the Elgin Fire Department for backup. Thankfully, there wasn't any injuries here. We do not know the cause of the fire or the cost of the damages. However, we do know that the shed is a complete loss. Farmers in Altura woke up this morning to find most of their crops destroyed after a brief overnight hailstorm. The hail was about 2 to 3 inches big. The storm lasted just about 15 minutes. Now, according to one farmer, the impact is devastating. The hail damaged crops, buildings, and vehicles. Just take a look at the chunks of glass missing from the roof of this greenhouse. Farmers are now left scrambling to find feed for their cows and are left questioning if insurance will even begin to cover the damages, since most farmers didn't think hail insurance would be necessary.
I mean, it was 6th generation dairy farm, but in 3 generations, we've never seen anything this bad to this level. It's normally spotty, it's minor, it's pea-size hail at best, but we've never lost a catastrophic loss before like this, where the 100% of the crop is useless.
As of right now, no injuries have been reported. Well, today was the grand reopening of the Empower Treatment Center. It's the only private-owned dual diagnostics treatment center in Rochester. This means that the center offers both help for mental health and addiction treatments. We were at the grand opening. There was music, food from Corona's Tacos, a facility tour, and a prize giveaway. The owners of Empower say they want to change the questions revolving around addiction treatment and form new connections in the community. We'll hear more from them at 6. Well, that's a look at some of today's headlines. We're going to send it back to you at the History Center.
Thanks, Zach. Thanks for holding down the fort there at the station. I've been hanging out here at the History Center for a few hours now, checking out this exhibit. You guys, it is just incredible. We've got a slice of kind of everything for people and your interests. Now, you saw our light bright desk that we are using again earlier with Tom and Caitlin, but there is more to offer. So behind me right here is a pretty special gift that we received. It is a Service to America award that we received for KTTC's work on the telethon we do every year to raise money for local cancer research. It's just an incredibly beautiful trophy that we have on display here, so that's pretty cool. Let's head this way a little bit. This is definitely the blast from the past. Now, some of the people who worked on putting this together on the KTTC team told me that they dug through boxes and boxes of really cool stuff. So you can see a few of it here. We've got some film that we used to shoot video on. It's kind of incredible to look back at that. Some of our old microphones, our old mugs, a lot of cool stuff here, a lot of history that is really being encapsulated into this exhibit. Now, I'm not going to show you all of it. It's just going to give you a little sneak peek because you can come down and see more. You can actually put together an entire video special on the 70th anniversary that you can come by and watch on their video center. A lot of cool stuff to see here. It's been a lot of fun seeing people, talking with people who have worked here in the past, and talking with just so many incredible people. Now, it's going to be up at the History Center of Olmsted County until next year's telethon. So pretty cool. You can come by and you can see so much there. And we're actually going to be switching out some of the items that are in here. So if you come here one month and come here the next month, it may be different. So come on by and get a chance to check out some of this stuff. We're going to be hanging out here for the rest of the newscast as well as the 6th. So stick with us for more, and we'll be right back after this.
And welcome back as we celebrate 70 years here at KTTC. We are at the History Center in Olmsted County, and I'm here with Caitlin.
Yes, this is a desk you can come to when you're at the History Center starting tomorrow. Come to the desk, take a picture with your friends, and then you can send it to us for our website. But you can be the anchor people for a few minutes.
And we have a special guest here joining us is Randy Groudon. Randy, welcome. So Randy worked for KTTC from 1967 to 1980. That's correct? 90. He was a tech director. We were talking back in the day, you started working for KTTC while you were still in high school.
Correct. Yep. We would do the 6 o'clock news, and then I would have like 2.5 hours to do my homework in a nice quiet studio.
What were the
we'd do the 10 o'clock news.
What were the cameras like back then?
They were huge. I still have one of the old lens from one of the old cameras. I always say that I should get a hold of somebody from KTTC and donate it, because it's like this big around and about 1.5 foot long, weighs about 40 pounds. And just the lens.
And now the lenses that we have, really high quality lenses, are, and there's little iPhones here as well.
Yeah.
And then you went through the flood as well. Talk about that. What happened?
Oh, that was crazy. I live not too far from there, over near where Homestead Medical Group is, and can remember seeing, the whole Kmart building underwater.
And KTTC, the former location downtown, got flooded as well. What was the mood like in the newsroom at that time?
Oh, it was hectic. It was just, everybody scrambling, just to cover whatever they could with whatever we had,
And you mentioned that you got out to your vehicle during that first day of the flood in '78 by a peculiar kind of method.
Yeah, by boat, actually. I left the TV station. There was outside steps from the newsroom. You'd come down into the parking lot. And I came down to about 8 foot from the parking lot floor and climbed into a boat. There was about 3 of us. And they took us up towards the Mayo Clinic, because that was higher ground, where we had parked our cars.
And I have to say, we've been showing footage all week long, clips from the flood, and so much equipment, I can imagine, was destroyed.
Oh, yeah. It's just, well, even the whole basement, and there was lots of storage, archived materials in the basement. They're just gone.
Well, Randy, it's been fun to talk to folks like you and reminisce and hear these stories, and we just really appreciate your time and your service to KTTC and the community for many years as well.
It's good to talk to you too.
Randy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, you take care. I think we're going to toss it back to the studio now with Zach and more news. Zach.
All right, Tom and Caitlin, thank you very much. We will have much more from the History Center coming up in just a little bit. A lot of fun down there, but we do have some news headlines that we have to get to. Well, the Biden administration has announced $39 billion in student debt relief. The administration announced 804,000 borrowers will have their student debt wiped away in the coming weeks. It's due to administrative fixes that more accurately count qualified monthly payments. There are currently several different kinds of income-driven repayment plans for borrowers with federal student loans. The plans base payments on a borrower's borrower's income and family size, regardless of their total outstanding debt. After reaching a set forgiveness threshold of 20 or 25 years, a borrower's remaining balance is then wiped away. Student loan repayments resume in October after a years-long pause during the pandemic. The Supreme Court last month struck down Biden's loan forgiveness program to provide millions of borrowers up to $20,000 in one-time federal student debt relief, saying Biden overstepped his presidential powers. Well, the CDC is facing big funding cuts, and some of the effects will be felt at the state and local level. The agency is poised to lose about $1.3 billion in funds as a result of last month's federal debt ceiling negotiation. The money was initially allocated through COVID-19 supplemental funding. The cuts will directly impact state and local health departments. For example, a grant funding disease intervention specialists across the country was one of the first things to be rescinded. The last 2 years of the 5-year grant were slashed, worth more than $400 million.
Here's your First Alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Nick Jansen.
Hey, good evening. Chief Meteorologist Nick Jansen live here at the big celebration of 70 years of KTTC. Proud to be part of that 70-year history here at KTTC in southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa. Let's talk about the weather here, your First Alert forecast. We are looking at the chance of maybe some showers and a couple rumbles of thunder in a couple spots here tonight. Storms will stay pretty stray. Currently here in Rochester, temperature at 77 degrees. We have some cloudy skies. Wind out of the southwest picked up a little bit. We're at 15 miles per hour. Dew points still remaining in the mid-60s. We take a look at temperatures here locally, some mid-70s in Rochester. We have the low 80s, Mississippi River Valley. We did warm up to 88 degrees today in Red Wing, down to 82 now. Currently 85 in La Crosse, 75 in Albert Lea. I talked about that chance for maybe a couple stray showers and thunderstorms. Right now, most of the storm activity in about Winnesheek County, so towards about Decorah. That'll continue to move to the east here tonight, and I think we probably end up staying dry for most of us, maybe a little drizzle spots in a couple areas. As we look at your weather headlines here, I talked about those stray storms will be possible before sunset here tonight, so we're looking at most of that wrapping up across southeast Minnesota, northeast Iowa by about 7:30, 8 o'clock here tonight. Saturday, we see the return of, guess what, some more haze. It's been about 2 weeks or so since we've had air quality alerts across the region. We'll have air quality alerts on the way through the rest of the night tonight, and especially for your day coming up tomorrow. As we look towards Sunday, mild and pretty comfortable. High temperatures will be in the lower 80s, and we'll see some sunshine on the way for Sunday. As we look at your air quality alert, that is in effect until 12 p.m. on Sunday. We're looking at reaching the unhealthy for sensitive group, so that orange category. Wouldn't be surprised if we reach the red, though, at some point in time tomorrow afternoon, as we have a plume of smoke moving in from Canada tomorrow. So just be aware of that through the afternoon on your Saturday. As we look at the rest of the night here in future track, those showers and thunderstorms really start to fizzle out by about sunset. Tomorrow morning, I think we have some sunshine. At least filtered sunshine with the haze and the smoke. Temperatures starting off in the lower 70s. We're back to the mid-80s, and notice we bubble up the atmosphere. Chance for a couple stray showers and thunderstorms on the way tomorrow. We continue into Sunday night. We'll see pretty comfortable conditions, and then temperatures starting off in the upper 60s, warming into the mid-70s and lower 80s for highs on Sunday. Precip chances pretty limited. Stray chance on Saturday. We're dry Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Isolated chance for some showers and maybe a couple rumbles of thunder on the way for Wednesday. That rainfall forecast not too impressive through the next at least 5 days, all the way through the middle of next week. Maybe a 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain on the way through the next 5 days. That's not helping our drought conditions. We are still under a severe drought through Olmsted County into Dodge, Mower, Fillmore, even some portions of the Mississippi River Valley for Winona and Wabasha counties since June 1st. At RST, we've only accumulated 1.79 inches of rain. We are now 5.37 inches of precip below average since June 1st. So we definitely need the rainfall. Outlook for tonight, overnight low at 60 degrees in Rochester. A couple stray storms before 8 p.m. They will be dry overnight. You can see temperatures starting off at 60 by tomorrow morning. 7-day forecast here, 80 degrees for the high coming up on Sunday, 75 on Monday, 78 on Tuesday. And then we finally work in that storm chance coming up on Wednesday. That'll do it for your First Alert forecast. We'll be right back after this.
Join us for Midwest Access. Weekday
Okay, so it seems like we're having some technical difficulties with Tom and Caitlin. We'll be sure to check back in with them later. Again, in our 6 o'clock newscast, we will have much more to come from the Olmsted County History Center. KTTC celebrating 70 years as we continue to celebrate all week. Well, lights out in Hollywood. The Screen Actors Guild, approximately 160,000 members are all on strike, likely bringing production to a halt for some of your favorite TV shows and most anticipated movies. They join members of the Writers Union who have been striking since May. Ivan Rodriguez reports.
Actors hitting the picket line Friday, going on strike against television shows and movie productions for the first time since 1980.
We are being victimized by a very greedy entity.
The SAG-AFTRA strike crippling a TV and movie business already limping during the Writers Guild of America's strike. Both guilds are upset over compensation in the streaming era.
There's a whole middle class of writers and actors that is disappearing because they're making it more and more difficult to just make a living.
Along with better pay, actors say residuals for past work have been dried up since the rise of streaming services. Concerns about artificial intelligence are another sticking point in negotiations. Studios say they've offered the highest % increase in minimum pay in 35 years.
There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. And they are adding to a set of challenges that this business is already facing.
For viewers, the impacts on their screens could be felt by the end of the year.
The movie productions will shut down. TV productions have shut down. Many have already shut down because of the writer's strike. So we're going to see, season premieres happening much later.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Welcome back to the History Center of Olmsted County. We are live unveiling the new exhibit here for the 70th anniversary of KTTC, joined now by a very familiar face, the outgoing, but still going to be volunteering, Executive Director of the 5th District Eagles Cancer Telethon, Teresa Chapman. Teresa, you've been a huge part of KTTC history for many years now.
I have. I started volunteering in '91 when we came here from Indiana, and then had the pleasure of being the director for the last 13 years. So being down here to celebrate with all of you for your 70th is very amazing.
And we just interviewed someone earlier in the broadcast who worked here he started in '67?
No, I think in the 60s.
Yes.
Early 60s.
And he mentioned that he volunteered at the telethon for years working on tech stuff. So to speak about the people in this room, how probably most folks here have had some impact on the telethon.
It was fun because as I was walking around, Jim Schmeichel was one of the guys in Brandon that kind of guided me through when I started, you can do this, don't do that, where to go, how to say. There's something in your ear, and no, they don't hear you when you answer.
Right.